David.J. Lobo, who will speak about paradigm shift in agriculture through coconut farming. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry for this little hitch. I'm very happy to talk to all of you, especially because tomorrow is World Coconut Day, and the coconut is becoming more and more important. I have, just to give you a little background, I've been into coconut breeding and coconut farming for over 40 years. And I love the subject because I see it making such a great change and contributing so much. Let me share a little bit of what I know. As the topic says, there will be a paradigm shift in agriculture because of this coconut tree. The latest of breeding techniques, not genetic engineering, have produced new coconut hybrids, crossing the dwarf with the tall varieties and producing very high yielding, early yielding palms. I think these new palms are going to make a massive change. What do we mean by a paradigm shift? Let me just raise a few points. There should be higher productivity, ease of application and use. There should be a growing demand. They should have many applications, diverse applications, value-added products. There should be a universal need and demand. It should have its impact on poverty, yes. And it has many other benefits, which I'll come to. Higher productivity. This new hybrid I was just talking about produces 3 to 4 times the yield. The earlier coconut palms that we've had, which most people buy and plant today, yield on an average, the country's average is 54 nuts per tree per year. The good farmers are getting 70, 80 nuts, maybe up to 100. The new hybrids are giving 200, 250. If you're going for tender coconut water, there are farmers reporting 400 coconuts per tree per year. This doesn't mean the best trees. Most people will make a difference and say, we get 300 nuts, but those are the best trees. The average of the garden is what I'm talking about. So productivity is very much higher. Size of the coconut is more. Tender coconut water is more. Virgin coconut oil and coconut oil are more. And the income generation, which is the second part of it, the income for the farmer is substantially more. So higher productivity leading to greater income should attract more and more people. Normal agriculture, 40, 50,000 rupees per acre could be the take home for every crop. With the coconuts is 2 to 3 lakhs per acre. The new coconut, I'm not talking about normal coconut farming, yes? And the coconut tree allows intercultivation. Almost all intercultivation can be done, especially the spice crops, which gives a further advantage to the farmer and also increases the land acreage without the acreage actually increasing. So that's for higher productivity. Let's look at ease of application. The coconut tree, everybody knows, is an easy tree to look after, to plant. You plant it once in your lifetime. In fact, you've got to choose wisely, and you plant it once in your lifetime. And then you harvest every month. That's the next great advantage. A farmer has to plan his financial use of his income very, very well, better than a bank manager, because he gets his income once or twice a year. The coconut tree gives them the income every month, which is one of the main reasons why it's very helpful for the farmer and the small farmer. The coconut tree has a long life, as I mentioned. The hybrid, which we are talking about, is also 50 to 60 years of high-yielding income generation for the farmer. So one need not worry about that. And as I said, there's no replanting every year, which almost every other crop requires. Yes. What about the demand? The demand is growing. All around the world, the knowledge about the coconut, the value of the coconut and the coconut products is growing, and all around the world, demand is growing. Today, if you look at statistics, they will tell you how much the demand is growing by. But actually, in my opinion, it's growing much higher, because the demand is only being catered to by the new arrivals and the new increase in production, and not catering to the actual and real demand. So the demand is growing, and that's pretty huge. Already we see lots of statistics coming out of what will happen in the next few years, and the next 5 years, and the next 10 years. Okay. Products, value-added products are so many. So the farmer is not stuck just with one product, the coconut, but he himself can go into and add value. Virgin coconut oil, which is made from the fresh kernel, compared to coconut oil, which is made from the copra. Virgin coconut oil is maybe the most startling of all, because that product is changing the level of health and wellness of the entire globe. Coconut oil was condemned. More and more research has come out. More and more experts are talking against the condemnation, and there's a swing steadily taking place. I won't go into those details. That's another subject by itself. So we've got a range of products: desiccated coconut, tender coconut water, virgin coconut oil, the whole range of sugars. And I'll go into a little more depth into that. In fact, the coconut can be processed into every product to replace a dairy product, from curds and cheese and milk and butter. Everything can be produced from the coconut. And very often, along with this statement, comes the fact that dairy farming as well as livestock farming are the second highest generators of global warming gases. Second highest generator in the world after the burning of fossil fuels. Whereas the coconut perhaps is the second highest sequestering agent for carbon dioxide, and removes over 50 tons per hectare per year. So that's great. That's another advantage of the coconut. So there are many applications, and new products are coming out. Did you hear of vegan leather? That's recently come out. And of course, straws, everybody's talking about coconut leaves, making straws to replace the environmentally hostile straws we presently have. So there are a lot of products coming out. Maybe I'll give you a couple more. Coconut pith. We used to have mountains of this everywhere, till peat was banned in the nations, in the developed nations. Why? Because they discovered that when they mined peat, a lot of methane was released. So they banned it. And the horticulturists, the nurserymen looking for an alternative are delighted to find that the coconut pith is a beautiful substitute, and some say better. So suddenly those mountains of pith, coconut pith, lying all over the place, I know in South India where I am based, suddenly started disappearing. Coir, which is traditionally used in rope making and mats and all that, suddenly they can't get enough coir, because they've discovered that coir with resin makes better dashboards than using petroleum-based products, which all cars and trucks dashboards are made from. So now they're being made from coconut coir, and there isn't enough. So they're only making the dashboards in trucks and lorries for trucks and lorries. they're not enough to go around for making for the cars. And why? Because there is a gas that's given off from the petroleum-based dashboards, and that gas is carcinogenic, and people in the West are living in their cars when they're driving around for hours together with the windows closed, the AC on in the summer and the heaters on in the winter. So there's a great sigh of relief that they've got an alternative, but this is just a few of the breakthroughs. Coconut timber is better than teak, but few people know about this. So as these things come out, more and more will be known to everybody, and the demand will keep growing. So as I said, universal need. Yes, the need for coconut products is growing around the world. And the main thing driving that is health, good health. And briefly, I'll tell you, the main salient factor is that virgin coconut oil, 50% of it is lauric acid. Lauric acid becomes monolaurin in our system. Monolaurin is a viricide, bactericide, fungicide, and it kills many viruses, flu viruses. To give you my personal experience, COVID came into my home. My wife and I take virgin coconut oil. My daughter could not take it. She got COVID. The maid brought it in. She got COVID. We did not. I think it could be because of the virgin coconut oil, which controls lipid-coated viruses. Now, this is when you go into the science of it. So I won't go into that and bore you. But there is a lot of research going on there that many viruses are controlled by lauric acid from virgin coconut oil. The richest source in nature, 49 to 51% of virgin coconut oil is lauric acid. The next richest source is mother's milk. And that's why infants don't get sick. But anyway, that's another subject. Another great benefit of the coconut tree is poverty reduction. The ripple effect of the coconut tree, the job creation is great and wonderful, but especially for the small farmer, the removal of poverty. And why do I say this? Because the coconut tree has one great advantage over most products in agriculture. It gives a farmer a monthly income. Every month he gets an income, whereas the farmer depends on his annual income, or maybe twice a year. So this monthly income is a great advantage. And as I said, you can grow many things, vegetables, other fruits, spices under the coconut tree, flowers, and so on. So these are all some of the benefits. Sorry, I have a little problem with my screen. Okay. I also want to add that there are new opportunities for coconut farming because it's also a destructive product. Virgin coconut oil are a very good replacement, a better replacement for palm oil. Palm oil had to be grown in millions of hectares around the world because the need around the world was most for edible oil, was growing for edible oil. Now, without a replacement, one cannot simply condemn oil palm. But there's a lot of public sentiment against it and the damage it does. But now there is a replacement. The new hybrid coconut trees are producing as much, if not more, edible oil than the oil palm. And it requires much less water. And it doesn't require the perfect soils and perfect conditions. So it is a very viable alternative. So that's with regard to oil palm and palm oil. Well, sugar also. Most people don't know that this new hybrid coconut produces 3 times more sugar than sugarcane does. Everybody thought sugarcane produced the highest amount of sugar in the world. No, 3 times more you can produce from this from the coconut tree. It comes from the sap. You've heard of a toddy tapper. They tie the spade of the tree, the flower spade, tie it tight, slip the end off, tap it wisely, and then it drips. And the drip is the sap, which is higher in sugar, 15 to 16%, compared to cane sugar, which is 11 to 12%. And it is a better quality sugar, low glycemic against cane sugar, which is high glycemic. And the final and greatest benefit, I think, is that it takes 3,000 liters to produce 1 kilo of cane sugar. It takes 300 liters to produce 1 kilo of coconut sugar. So it's a destructive plant in the sense that it can do damage to the sugarcane industry. What about the dairy industry? More and more lactose intolerance is setting in. More and more people are becoming vegans. And the products from the coconut tree is a very, very healthy and good replacement for the dairy industry. And what about global warming? As I told you, the dairy industry produces a huge amount of global warming gases. So it's destructive. It's a generator of foreign exchange. A country can earn a lot as this industry develops. There are a whole range of value-added products just from the sap alone. I talked of coconut sugar, but you can get Nira. You can get, that's a beautiful soft drink, more natural and better and more healthy than any other soft drink that you can get. Coconut honey, coconut syrup, coconut jaggery, and then, of course, sugar. So there are so many products just from that one product alone. Yes. As I said, new benefits are being added on a constant basis. Recently, I heard about the straws being made from the leaf. And then we heard about vegan leather, as I mentioned. So there are so many new products coming out. I am very happy to give you this summary because I would like to see the elimination of poverty. The farmer who is spending his life feeding all of us, isn't he going to get a good life? I look forward to that happening because of the coconut tree. I look forward to most farmers planting coconut trees or planting them at least on the borders so that they get this additional income. I have a trust called the Deejay Agri Support Foundation. There we have discovered that 10 coconut trees in the hands of maybe the wife of the farmer, 10 coconut trees gives financial security, 50 coconut trees gives financial comfort, 100 coconut trees gives financial freedom. Now, I'll go into details for that later if anybody wants to know. But right now, the coconut tree is the wonderful tree, the only tree after which a state is named. Kerala is named after the coconut, the land of the coconut. And it's been on man's diet and his agricultural activity going back for the thousands of years. Only now we are getting to realize its full value and potential. With the new hybrids coming in, there are going to be a lot of breakthroughs taking place. Thank you all for listening so patiently. I am open to comments and questions. Are the organizers there? Maybe I could tell you a little bit more till somebody comes and interrupts me. The range of products that the coconut tree can make, that the coconut tree can produce, value-added products, is really growing for all types of situations, especially from the point of view of health. I'd like to focus on this a little bit more. The world's best kept medical secret, which every medical person knows, every medical person in research knows, is CMV. How many of you heard that term, CMV? It stands for the cytomegalovirus. I call it the world's best kept secret. I heard of it only through my reading. And then when I started talking to others to find out why is it such a secret, only then I discovered that they have no solution for it. How do they tell a person the CMV caused your problem? And therefore they don't. The CMV virus is in all of us in the developing world, and about 80% of the people in the developed world have it. It's subclinical. Most people don't realize it, but I believe plays a very big role in wellness or in control of illness, to cause illness. The CMV virus resides in inflamed tissues, and it multiplies in inflamed tissues and makes the tissues even more inflamed. And they say all illnesses and diseases start with inflamed tissues. So I think there's a link there, but I'm hoping more research will come out to prove that. Now, how do you measure illness? You have a thermometer and you can measure illness. How do you measure wellness? No, we don't have any way. But I do feel talking to people and telling them about virgin coconut oil, which controls CMV, because CMV is a lipid-coated virus directly affected by monolaurin from the lauric acid. They say they feel much better. One gentleman actually said, in the last 6 months since I've been taking virgin coconut oil after you told me, I have never felt better in my life. That's what started me on this journey of why is that happening? And these are the reasons what I think could be the cause. So when more and more people get to know of all this, I really see the whole world waking up. I really see the whole world saying, give me coconuts. So when that happens, it will be a great world for the tropical countries, because most farmers in the world, most coconut farmers are small farmers. They're all in the tropics, and their lives will change, and that will be wonderful. I hope that was a little more information and interesting for you.
Hello.
Yes, I finished what I had to share with.
Just I am calling from Nelmangla, Bangalore.
Yes.
I have 100 plants.
Yes.
Brought from you. Now they are 3.5 years old.
Yes.
Now I am facing two problems.
Okay.
One is the white flies.
Okay.
As you know, that after that black patches.
Yes.
So I am not able to control that.
Yes.
One is that problem. Another one thing is the buds. The flowering is good, and nearly some few 100 birds are coming, but finally only 3 or 4 it retains. Everything drops down. So these are two problems I am facing.
I'll be happy to try and answer that as satisfactorily as possible. What's your name, sir?
Deendayal.
Deendayal. I'm so happy you've come on. Deendayal, do talk with the person from our company who's met you.
Yes.
Yes.
He told many things to spray, but it is not working. That one star 20 we sprayed yesterday. I think so. There was little effect. The fly started dropping out. But we'll have to see.
May I just give you a point of view that I have? I don't want to take all the time because there may be other people wanting to ask questions.
Okay.
We did a study. I hope you're on Deejay for You app. I hope you're on that.
Yes, I'm.
Good. Okay, good. Now, we've got an intervention program because we found these problems in some places, and we went there and sent a team, work with the farmers, and I am very happy to tell you we got very good results. The farmers are very happy. Now, Whitefly is a different thing altogether. It's strange. It's changed. They say because of global warming, it's now attacking coconut trees, which never did before. And there are various ways and experts giving their opinions. I don't think anything is fully satisfactory as yet. We are working on it ourselves to try and find a better solution. Yes, for sooty mildew, sooty rust, that's the blackening of the leaf, which blocks the sunlight, which blocks the photosynthesis that takes place and damages your production. How to retain the buttons from falling, and a whole lot of others. Students up that Jen talking to, I'll be happy to with him.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Regarding that
The question, I didn't answer that. What's the other question?
falling of buds.
Yes, falling of buttons needs micronutrients. Something is deficient. We would do a soil analysis, the leaf analysis, and tell you what is the thing that's deficient. We've solved this problem for many people. Let's try and do our best for you too. Please talk to our person.
Okay.
Oh, anybody available, sir, in your office who can do this?
Well, a telephone number will come up on the screen later on, and you follow that number, okay?
Okay,
or
thank you.
Email or that number, okay?
Thank you.
We will move to Mr. Nagesh.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, hi, sir. Sir, actually, I'm facing rhinoceros bodily issues.
Yes.
Most of trees are affected. Can you please let me know how we can control that? But nowadays, the government is also banned monocrotophos. What is the alternate medicine for that?
There are 3 methods for rhinoceros beetle control. You can infect the larvae, catch the rhinoceros beetle, infect it with a fungus, and that takes the disease back into the community of rhinoceros beetles. However, that's not a solution, because rhinoceros beetles are coming from everywhere. They are becoming a big problem. Yes. Pheromone traps are what we recommend to everyone, and don't put them in the middle of your field. How big is your farm, sir?
Yeah, it is almost 3+ acres, sir, below 5 acres.
Okay, so put these pheromone traps on the borders of your tree. So what happens is that the beetles which are in your farm get attracted to the pheromones and they fly towards the traps. Hopefully they get caught.
Okay.
And so don't put the pheromone traps in the middle of your farm. Many people do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, correct.
That's bringing beetles into your farm from outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we kept on middle of the farm.
Do it on the outside. Check them every day. Kill the beetles every day. They are a scourge. And I can tell you, sometimes I think they're smarter than us. But anyway, we have to live with them and do our best.
Okay. So we'll move to Mr. Nagaraj now. Mr. Nagaraj, you can unmute yourself. Okay. In the meantime, we'll move to Mr. Mohammed Ghosh. Okay. Till they are ready, I'll take few questions from
Sure.
the participants, other participants. How does coconut farming help in conserving water resources in agriculture?
Well, I have to give you the truth. The hybrid requires more water than the normal tree because it's producing 3 times more. It requires more water. But we have developed systems to reduce the water consumption. Now, please just remember this little point I'm giving you. 80% of water and fertilizers are wasted in normal agriculture because they are applied for maximum performance and output, not for ideal utilization. That means the roots are not everywhere. So we put enough water and fertilizers so that the tree's roots everywhere get adequate. Now, how can we be more careful and more judicious? We are doing research. It's going on for 3 years. We have to wait for 5 years to get the full answers. It's looking good, but that's too early for me to talk about just now. Unless we are sure, we can't recommend it. How do we save on water? Use a lot of mulch. Prevent evaporation taking place. There is a new system called Growtron, okay? It's been brought out recently by an aeronautical engineering who is an expert in that area. And there are other systems, I can't offhand remember all the different systems, that a drip system, for example, the ordinary drip system, you save water with that, yes? Growtron has gone to a much greater level of identifying the 1 foot level where all the roots generally are, because the bacteria that produce the food for the trees and the roots and the feeding roots are in that 1 foot level. Maybe it's a little more in some places. They've got a very good system there. On the net, you'll be able to find all the suppliers, all the different people. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah.
You can reduce what water is used by the farmer and what the tree takes are two different things. We use 3-4 times more than what the tree actually takes.
Okay. Next question. How does coconut farming contribute to sustainable and regenerative agricultural practices?
Well, intercultivation is one of the best. In the first place, as I mentioned, you can grow almost anything under the tree. Yes. The coconut tree doesn't have to be replanted again and again. So you've got advantages there. For sustainable agricultural practices, you have a standing crop, the coconut crop, which is coming every month. And you can try and work what your regular crop with the coconut trees. We've done some studies, and CPCRI has done a lot of studies in this area. They are very good. They are in Kasargod. You change the spacing of the coconut trees. That's when you're planting them. And therefore, you can plant different crops in between. So this is, get your local expert to guide you in this, how to become more sustainable.
Okay. Next question we have from Mr. SK. Sir, we have planted 600 palms, but we are facing problem of uneven growth. Some palms have good growth, but some are very poor in growth. Please guide us. I am from Davangere, Karnataka.
Thank you for the question. Yours is a question which makes me give you a general answer. Is every palm getting the same condition? Is the soil with every palm, the pit made for every palm the same? If not, you will get different results. So that's a very general, vague answer. I'm sure it doesn't solve your problem. The best is to have someone visit. Whoever supplied you, we supplied it to you. If we supply the palms, please get our man to come across and to visit, okay? Please get them to come and see what is the cause. I mentioned a little earlier, we had an intervention program when we found in a certain area, farmers were not getting the results which we wanted them to get. And we were very, very keen that they should get that. So after getting involved, we found so many different things done by different people, which are not right. Some, they plant their coconuts too close together. Some cut off all the leaves. As soon as the bunch is harvested, they cut the leaf off. No, don't do that, because that leaf is going to keep generating nutrition and sugars for the tree. Yes. So various things like that. And also, if you cut the leaf off, the cut portion gives a smell which is attractive to the rhinoceros beetle. So these are a whole lot of little things which all add up. I am being general. I cannot give you exact answers. You have to have someone visit your farm. I hope what I tell you helps.
Okay. Mr. SK, if you have further questions, you can post it. In the meantime, I'll take up other questions. How can coconut farming improve soil health and fertility compared to conventional farming methods?
Well, for soil health in the first place, the right use of fertilizers is always important. Adequate use of organic manures are becoming more and more important today, keeping the carbon level in soil at the high level. Soils are dying in many places because that's not being maintained. So the normal management for good soil practices, you've got to follow that. Yes. Now, I would add for the coconut tree, if you grow your own weeds, I'm using a wrong word, but plants which you can chop down and use as mulch, use as organic fillers in the bole of the tree. Keep filling that. Plant Gladicidea all over the place. Yeah, they grow wild. Just take a stick of Gladicidea, stick it in the ground, and it'll grow. Yes. Now, put as much organic material back into the soil. Put all the leaves from the coconut trees that fall, all the waste from the coconut trees, make it into compost. Yes. All extra compost around the place, put it there. Make it into compost. You cannot give too much of compost to your trees. Your soil will get better. Its water retention quality will be better. The aeration in the soil will be better. The more organic manures are in the soil. Off the cuff, this is what strikes me. I can't think of anything else right now, but if you're in touch, we'll see if some new things come up. Be in touch with our office. New breakthroughs are there. New knowledge is there. Keep reading. You will learn a lot. Look at the videos on Google. How can I increase the organic level in my soil? They'll give you 1,000 videos for that. So when you learn something new, please tell me. I would like to learn also.
Okay. So, yeah, SK has mentioned, thank you, sir. Your team, Ullas, sir, visited our farm, sir, done soil test and given some suggestions 1 month ago. We are following up, sir. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah. Next question. What role does coconut farming play in enhancing biodiversity on agricultural lands?
Well, as I said, the coconut tree need not be a monocrop. Most crops are monocrops. So you're planting a field of ragi or rice or fruit. It's one crop. The coconut tree doesn't require that. And the coconut tree grows tall and it lets 70% of sunlight in. So crops which don't need 100% sunlight can do very well. Yeah. So straight off, that's my answer, that you can plant intercropping of so many varieties of plants under the tree. And all the spices don't need a lot of sun. They need semi-shade. All the spices can be planted. Just to add a little bit more here, we are doing research. It's going on 2 years. I've got to go for another 3 years, where we are increasing the density of coconut trees through what we call a trench system, but let it be through. Don't try and copy it till we finish our research. We'll take the risk. You don't. So we would, I've kept the rows 45 feet apart, the rows of coconut trees. And in the middle, there's full sun. So we plant a row of sun-loving fruit trees. And here I've planted cashew and I've planted mango, and I could plant so many more, but that's what we are researching with. Yes. Between the mango and the cashew and the coconut trees, we planted a row of spice trees, plants which need shade, semi-shade. So we've planted cinnamon and we've planted, what's wrong with me? Nutmeg. Yes. Everything is looking very good. I I'm surprised. I didn't expect it to look so good. The coconut trees have started flowering in 2 years, but these are dwarfs. These are not the coconut trees we supply you. These are our mother dwarfs, and they're looking pretty good. But that's just one research we are doing, and hopefully if it comes out as successful, we'll be happy to share it with all of you.
Okay. And are there any innovative technologies or practices that can further enhance the paradigm shift in agriculture through coconut farming?
Through coconut farming, I've been talking about it. I don't know how much more I could say. As I said, where there's shade, you can plant a lot of things, flowers and other things like that, orchids and all that. But I would advise the Internet of Things, IoT, to look into that. Look for companies that are helping you there. Look at drip irrigation in the right way. So you save on your fertilizers and you save on your water. I think these are things we can do. The technologies are already with us. So looking for new ways, well, that's exciting and interesting, and you can do it in a small corner of your farm. But proven ways, find that out, read about it, get the expert in and put it into place. I think you can make a difference. You and every farmer can make a difference.
Okay. Mr. Hassan Bargi from Bagalkot, he has congratulated you, and he's requesting few more sessions on this. Okay.
Well, it's up to you to organize. I'm
Yes,
happy
sir.
to give you my time.
Sure,
I'm happy
sure.
with that.
Yeah. So next question. Yeah. What are the challenges and obstacles farmers might face when transitioning to coconut farming?
Well, the biggest problem they will find is the long gestation period. You plant vegetables or cereals, you get your crop within 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever it is. You plant grafted fruit trees, you're getting your crop in a year or 2 years. But with coconuts, it traditionally took 6, 7 years. With the hybrid, it's taking 3, 4 years. So we've reduced some time, okay? The point is, that's the difficult period. So there are different plans and people are practicing different things that in the first 2, 3, 4 years, they plant intercultivation, onions, potatoes, and it depends on your area and location, and manage those few years with an intercrop. But why not continue with the intercrop? Many don't. So it depends on how much water you have. I realize that there are constraints on every farm, but take all that into account. And yes, see, that's the biggest challenge, to change over. Another challenge is when your trees get old, then you're going to face that period again. If you're a young person who inherited the coconut garden from his father or his grandfather, and they're due for replacement, then what do? Well, for that, we have a suggestion where you have a phased program of thinning out the worst trees, replanting small numbers, and as they get bigger, thin out the older trees and all the trees which are not giving you a viable return. Because after 60 years or 50 years or 60 years, the traditional tall, the yield drops off very quickly. Yes. So that's for the farmer who's got older coconut trees and who wants to replace them. However, if you've got, I know farmers who've done this, I recommend it, that if you've got a young coconut garden, 20 years old, and it's got another 30, 40 years to go, consider if you can manage to plant the new hybrids I'm talking about within those trees and replace the older trees with these, because these are giving you 3 and 4 times more yield. And if you can manage the financial constraint, then you are earning 3, 4, 5 times more once the new plants come into yield. I can't think of any other problem. It's not difficult to go in for planting coconuts, except that you have to watch out for your income, your need of funds for yourself and your family till the coconut trees start yielding. That you need to plan for.
Okay. And how does climate change affect coconut farming, and how can it be adapted to changing conditions?
I personally feel we are fortunate with the coconut tree, which can handle much more climate change than many other crops. Don't forget, the coconut tree takes a long time to mature. So it takes a big blow to hurt the coconut tree compared to the quick crops, quick growing crops. If you don't give them ideal conditions, they suffer and they show you the results very quickly. However, we already have seen the white fly, which has been the cause is the global warming, that it's changed its habits and it's now become a major pest for the coconut tree. That's one problem. We're learning how to manage it, how to control it. White fly. I don't know the reason for every problem that we have, whether it's linked with global warming. The experts have to do the study and tell us, and then we have to see what we need to do, what they tell us to do to remedy that problem. But global warming, if water is short, if your area is getting less rainfall, definitely you're going to have a problem for all agriculture, not just coconuts. If you're getting too much of water in some areas, flooding too much, well, then that is easily sorted out for the coconut tree by trenching, putting trenches and taking out the extra water. Let it go according to the slope of the land, taking it out, letting it go out, because the roots should not be in waterlogged conditions. That's all that strikes me now, but if you keep in touch or with the office, they'll be able to give you the latest information as we go forward. You too, please look out for the latest information and let us know. We'd be happy to learn from you too.
Okay. Next question, what is the global outlook for coconut farming as a transformative force in agriculture?
As I said, the whole talk I'm talking about is a paradigm shift. I see that paradigm shift taking place. I know it will take place. How many people get involved, how many governments get involved, how many organizations and research stations get involved means the faster it will happen. But it will happen, yes, I am sure. Now, a thought struck me. It's gone from my mind. If it comes back, I'll tell you. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. What is the global outlook for coconut farming as a transformative force in agriculture?
The paradigm shift is, I see, this is my interpretation of how trends are taking place, is that most farmers will plant a coconut tree, if not in their land, on the borders of their land. If one plants a coconut tree fairly close together, but along the borders, you can get 30 palms per acre of border land, okay, which is a little less than half. So I see farmers going more and more to depend on the coconut tree because he takes the trouble once, he plants it once, yes. The value addition, the demand, I mentioned briefly. I was asked by the president of the ICC, International Coconut Community, which is a body that has about 22 member countries, or a government-based organization. She asked me what did I think was the real demand. And I said, I think the real demand is the industry can grow at the rate of 40% a year if the demand was adequately fed through supplies. But we have coconut trees getting older every year. They say 700 million trees need to be replaced, which are old, and every year their production is coming down. So there's this problem taking place. There's the demand going to keep growing, and the prices will keep going up. I told you about sugar. The coconut tree can produce 3-4 times more sugar than sugar cane. But what is the price of sugar? Can we afford it? No, most of us can't. It's $4 a kilo. That's 300 rupees, almost 8 or 9 times more than cane sugar, right? So we need to get production increasing for the prices to become more balanced so that everybody can buy it. Yes? So that's one of the things which will happen when the paradigm shift will grow faster and faster when prices come down for the value-added products. Now, I'm not saying I don't want the farmers to get good prices. Of course, I want the farmers to get good prices. And everybody should plant the coconut tree if they want to get good prices. You can't get good prices if you don't have a coconut tree. So planting the coconut tree will feed the demand and create a bigger industry, which is better for everybody. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah. Okay. So before we wind up, there is one question from Mr. Deendayal. He says fully yellow colored leaves, but bark can be cut.
I'm sorry, it got garbled. Just
Mr. Deendayal, you can convey your question.
Sir, that leaves, when it changes, it is fully yellow colored. Can we cut it, sir? Or it has to be fully dried? It has to drop on its own.
No, you are right. You have a good point. When the leaf is green, it is generating food for the tree. But once the leaf has finished its viable life, the tree then starts withdrawing nutrition from the leaf and taking away the nutrients which are lying in the tree and reabsorbing it into the tree itself. So yes, you can cut those leaves down, which have started turning yellow. But the danger to that is the rhinoceros beetle. When you cut the stem, put a medicine onto that, so that smell does not attract the rhinoceros beetle.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. One second. Okay, sir, I don't see any more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank you for the detailed presentation and answering all the questions in depth. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting and clarifying your questions. Mr. Mohammed Ghosh has asked, center root getting dry. Mr. Mohammed, can you clarify your question?
Yeah, definitely, madam. Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, actually, I have around about 350 Deejay coconut palms.
Nice.
In this trees, the center root is going to be dried, and the total whole plant is going to collapse. So, what is the cause, sir? What is the remedy?
I think you're talking about the central shoot.
Yes, central shoot.
Yes. So now, if the rhinoceros beetle, the rhinoceros beetle attacks the crown. Now, if it happens to attack the crown where that shoot is growing and it kills that growing shoot, your tree will die because there's nothing to grow. It's a monocot. So just one place for it to grow. So that will stop growing. But during the rains, where the rains are very heavy, we get what's known as bud rot. attack takes place in the central root and kills the shoot, central shoot. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. And kills that shoot, and therefore the tree has to die. Yes. So you need to identify what is causing that problem. And there are remedies for bud rot. If there's any other cause, I think there could be one or two other causes, but I'm not as good an expert as I would like to be. So we'll have to get better advice given to you. So do talk to one of our people to come and visit and check it out, and they can consult with experts if necessary.
So definitely.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Hassan Bargi sir is there. Now he is our Bagalkot in charge from Deejay.
Yes.
He came to our land and he is verified. He told that no, you just go through the medicines like COC and that chloroxychloride. You just apply to the roots and you will get free from that.
That would help. Also ask him to contact Mr. Ulhas. Ulhas is in charge of service and supporting our farmers. So maybe Ulhas can make a visit.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please get appointment from Ulhas, sir. I don't have numbers from Ulhas, sir. I will get the number from.
Yes, you can get it from us. You can get from anybody in our company. Our numbers, which are on this which will come up onto this video, you call that number. They will give you the details.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Hello, David, sir. This is
Yes, sir.
Nikhil from Shirdi. So actually, I planned this January. It's now 8 months. I planted 5 acres of Deejay coconut.
Okay.
The problem which I faced the most was, I don't know if someone else has also encountered this one. There was a good, I mean, there were very wild hogs who actually destroyed the crop. So what they did was they digged up the entire plant and they ate the entire coconut, which you put into the ground itself. So it doesn't, I mean, it's of no use then. They already almost destroyed 50 to 60 seedlings. So is there any measures which can keep wild hogs away from the plant? Has anybody actually encountered this?
See, it is a very big problem, not just for coconut trees, but for agriculture in general, everywhere. The laws of the country that protect wildlife are working against the farmers in many cases, okay? And wild pig is one of the most damaging of all. Yes, we've also had to face this, and everybody has to face it, and you lose a lot if you cannot control it. Go make a complaint to the government. The government is doing some form of compensation, but that's not good enough. You've lost your time and all that, but make a complaint. Tell them this is happening to give you a solution. If enough of people complain, then they will get government to change the laws. Wild boar is declared vermin in many places, and they're allowed to kill wild boar if it enters your private land. In many states, this is. In the north, I read recently that blue bull has become a terrible nuisance, and government is actually officially culling them. So make a complaint, the first thing to be done, and repeat your complaint. What else can be done? If you're not allowed to kill them, and very likely you're not allowed to, you have to drive them away. They are afraid. You need to keep people in this early stage, plants are young, to hit the can and make a noise in the night. It's difficult, but unfortunately, if you're in that zone where wild boar come in, you have to face that issue. You're lucky that you don't have elephant. Some of our customers have a big problem. The plants and all are taken out of the ground completely. And
That's
it's,
easy.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, so we'll wind up this meeting, sir. Thank you for attending this meeting and clarifying all your questions. Maybe in the next session, if we take up any next session, you can join and clarify for the questions. Okay, sir. We'll end this meeting now. Have a good evening and good weekend ahead.
Thank you very much, and thanks to everybody for listening. I hope it was beneficial. All the very best to all of you farmers.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, sir.